Hello, everyone, and welcome to the next episode of Dreams of Silver and Stone. I think we're on episode 6 now. Interesting. I'm here with your favorite actors and actresses out here on roll for chaos, as well as all the rest of the crew that's everywhere else. I didn't want to actually put out any... don't mind me. We're just going to move on from there. We're going to go to each individual that's out here and talk about some interesting bits of their character's backstory. So, as usual, we're going to start this off with a random kick and, digging a hole and sticking a foot in a mouth. And we're going to go from there. We got a one that is Glitzen Gamer. You're up first tonight.
I'm the new Anna, apparently, for this one.
Yeah.
Keeps happening. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna do the thing.
Give me 1 second while I fix something. I am moving through things because I just realized I was
so prepared.
You were so. There we go. Okay, we should be.
Oh yeah, we got to see the cool Discord.
Oh. Yeah.
Ooh.
So one thing I did find
that Ty is indeed in dark mode. Don't worry.
One thing that I did find out is that when you have high packet mode on Discord, Fantasy Grounds goes and stops working right. So we're gonna just not use that for me. Okay, go ahead, Glitzy Gamer, Nova, your scene.
Yeah. Oh, I was just okay. So one time, when Nova was a young elf, of course, growing up with Alice McCree, the family philosophy was, you know, when you go out into the world, you help people. Where you go, you make it a better place. All of that stuff. So Nova was very frustrated that she didn't get to go anywhere, so she never got to help anybody, and just got very frustrated. But one time, she was out in the garden at the university, and she saw an injured squirrel, you know, little gray squirrel that was trapped, and it looked like his leg was broken or not doing very well. So she ran up. She's like 6 or 7, right? Like whatever the equivalent age of an elf is, a wee one. And so she goes over there and she helps the squirrel. She gets it unraveled. She yells. She's crying. She's upset. She sees this creature upset. She's trying to fix it. Nobody's around to help, so she does it on her own, and she ends up able to free the little guy and then turn a little bit of leaves and a stick into a little splint for the guy, you know. And then she kind of left him out there. He seemed fine. He wandered off. And then she felt so proud of herself because she saved his life as far as she was concerned. And that squirrel used to come by for the next 5 or 6 years and would bring little treasures and little things and put it on Nova's windowsill. So that was her first friend that she made because she was helping.
Aww.
What was the squirrel's name?
Floofer.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
Floofer the
that
squirrel.
tracks with a 6-year-old Nova to name this animal.
Yes.
I'm going full Disney princess. Why not?
Well, Floofer the squirrel came back for years and years and years, and that's a wonderful little animal friend, and you know, it makes sense that Nova can now talk to animals after everything's said and done. So we're going to move on over to Kiara. Anna, you're up next.
Oh, great. So I'm going to follow this super wholesome moment to be proud of with the exact opposite. This happens pretty recently when Clay got, you know, taken to the clink. So she was kind of, you know, on her own, not knowing a whole lot of what to do on her own in Avalon, to which she wanted to get, you know, food with some money that she had recently stolen, making her way into a store. Her cloak was knocked off of her head by accident. The store owner said some less than nice things about her, as she is an elf, one of which calling her filth, and then threatening to call peacekeepers. So she backed out of there until the night in which she decided to gain access to the store, breaking basically the sewage pipes within it to kind of flood the store with a bunch of, you know, less than savory things. Next day, she reappears and basically tells the store clerk, "Looks like I'm not the only one who's filth," and then vanishes off into the town, never to be anywhere near that store again.
Nice.
So I'm going to go the exact opposite of the wholesome route that Nova had.
I mean, I feel like we
I'm
portray two very different representations of elves.
True.
Yeah, that's a little different, you know, a little more of a retributive versus.
It was a really shitty situation.
Moving on forward, we're going to check out Rob, Clay. Give us your scene, please.
Yeah, I mean, because of who Clay is, it has to start with like a little montage with like acoustic guitar music of like his son growing up, like being born and walking and talking for the first time, because it's hard for him to distinguish between all these special moments. But I imagine when his son is about maybe like 5 or so, I imagine really scraggly, unkempt, blonder hair than Clay has, just like the very beginnings of like peach fuzz starting to grow because dwarves, and just kind of like run around at that young age. And I imagine there's not like a ton of toys. There's not like, it's a very meager, modest apartment that the scene is in, but we see some simple wooden blocks that Clay probably carved himself. They're not exactly perfect, but you see Clay and Chase playing together and stacking blocks and smiling and laughing. And then there's like a knock at the door, and Clay knows that that's his signal to go out with Kara. They've got jobs to do and money to make, and Chase, not wanting his dad to go, probably asks why he has to go, and Clay kind of gets kind of a serious look and kind of sits down at eye level with Chase. Well, other than the fact that you need money to eat and live here, she would never say it, and it's not like we're the same blood, but Kiara and I are, and TK and I are family, right? And when family needs you, or there's things you and family need to do, you stand by your family. And so, other than, again, paying for your snacks and the house we live in, stick by your family, son. And kind of ruffle the hair, get caught. I imagine like his wedding ring, like getting caught in the scraggly hair, and then like, and then eventually pulling his hand free, giving his son a hug, and then heading off for yet more dubious deeds.
Dubious deeds, indeed. See a nice little family man moment there, and we move on over. Kaizen, Steven.
Okay. So, a little time after the time rupture on Sedna, where everything is constantly flickering in the present and the past and the future all at once, it became very, very difficult for the still mind to be still-minded, because it's very hard to meditate and be deep in thought when constantly in an influx of time and space. So he had been focusing very hard on trying to really, really push himself into a state where he could remain in the still mind zone, completely beyond all of the time and relative changes. And finally, one night as he was sitting there, he got there, and that is the one time that he actually could truly see the lineage and timeline of Sedna as it actually happened, from past to present to future. And he, once he was in there, tried to begin to train everybody else to get there, but no one else quite achieved it. So he took it upon himself to try to find what went wrong in the timeline and exactly what events happened to create the shift, so he could finally fix it and stop it and create normal, sustained time once again. Unfortunately, the Crack had different plans and took him elsewhere. But in that moment, he saw that timeline and just hopes he can get back there, because it was the clearest he'd ever seen. And it was great, and now he's in linear time again, so we'll see what happens.
Damn it, Crack, always pulling me away from my responsibilities.
So distracting.
So moving on over, Sinan, go ahead, Patchy.
All right. So in Patchy's scene, this is like years ago. We see this little lab, an alchemist's lab. It is like full of about like 10, 11 Skixen all in like lab coats. But in the image, we see like most of them are kind of blurry. We only see like 4 of them in detail. One of them is like, they all have name tags. One of them, it says like Crimson Mane and has this like reddish hair going all sides in his head, going below his spine. Another one, and he has this like sort of an ambitious look in his eye. The other one's called Nibbler Halftail. This female Skixen who's just constantly chewing on something. And another one called Fidget Claw written in the name tag, and just hands always like it looks like her hands are always just typing on an imaginary keyboard. And then the other one we see looks like Patchy, but very different. First of all, very clean. And because of that, the fur doesn't even look, is a completely different color. Kind of silvery white, silvery gray. And on the name tag, it writes Silverback, appropriately. Also, no patches. Full set of fur. And he seems to be the one who's like leading this crew, and they're all just like looking at a whiteboard full of just a bunch of calculations and a bunch of formulas, and everyone just keeps going. And then at one point, Silverback goes and like does a little correction, and everyone's like, "Oh, what?" It seems like they're like searching for something. A while, they all suddenly scatter back into the alchemist instruments. Everyone like goes to some vials. A couple of liquids pass from some bubbling vial to another, and at some point, 2 other Skixen arrive. One is a very old-looking one that's carrying himself with like so much power, despite barely standing still. The moment everyone sees him, everyone just gets into this very ready formation. Like, this is someone that's clearly everyone respects. The other one has like 3 claws going down their face. The one that everyone respects goes, "Is it ready?" And Silverback's like, "Yes, sir. We did. I think we've cracked it. But are you sure you want to do this?" "Yes, Silverback. I don't want any other Skixen lives to be lost to this. It's either now or never. I'm about to pass my time anyway." And he's placed on a little table. Silverback goes to a part next to the chair, asks for the sample Elven B42 and the substance EAS874, which the 3 Skixen we saw before are very hurriedly grab, bring it to him. A couple of substances get merged in another alchemist's vial. Silverback carefully separates something under a microscope, takes out another new vial. It's like glowing neon. I think Ty would explain the color of this way better than me. It looks weird. Sure, it will come up. He puts it in a machine. It engulfs this Skixen that everyone seems to respect. No name tag though, conveniently. It kind of looks like what he was putting that dwarf into, by the way, in the first episode, Patchy. I don't know if this is Patchy. We don't know. Who knows? Hey, and then bubbling sound comes. It's like lights flicker. Candle lights suddenly turn on and on, like blow off and on. It's kind of weird. Aether magic, cool. And then steam comes out. The machine opens. and this old Skixen that everyone was respecting, that like had this old respected Skixen. I'm trying to be vague here because I don't want to give out names. Gets up and suddenly doesn't need this cane anymore. Looks years younger, fur much more clearer, can stand still, arms, everything moves perfectly. It is clearly a success, whatever they were trying to do. This one, like, congratulates Silverback. The two leave, and the moment they leave, the room engulfs into celebration. All the 11, 12 kicks and goes, we did it. And the three comes to Silverback, is like, oh, sir, this means everything will change, right? This means our people will go back to the way they were, right? Yes. No, never mind that. This is just the beginning. All back to work. We have a lot to do. And that's the scene.
This strange Silverback fellow seems to have come across some sort of interesting, rejuvenating...
Strange Silverback guy that we were told many times was, of course, had no patches. Not a single patch. No patches whatsoever.
No
Why would we think he was patchy?
I mean, he doesn't have patches, so...
Patchy.
Patchy was clearly the old
clearly,
one.
like, yeah.
I mean, Skixens are named after their legs, physical things, right? If Patchy's name is Patchy, that means Patchy was always a patchy little Skixen. So, not that. I mean, brother. Well, we never said our pride could be like someone we know or someone we respect or even a family member. Maybe I'm just related to this person. You don't know.
Yeah, maybe Patchy just doesn't have any pride ever.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I kept thinking of the Captain America scene when Steve Rogers comes out of that thing. He was so tiny, and then he comes out, and he's all... anyway.
I was thinking of Death Becomes Her when they get young and her boobs get tight again. But that's just...
All right.
Death Becomes Her. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Fabulous movie.
Speaking of tight... Never mind. Go ahead, Strat. No, your turn.
I think you should have just committed to that one.
Now, this is a story that happened a long, long time ago about how I went into the future. You see, I was minding my own business, waiting for my next big adventure to come to me, when I saw this huge ship called the Holiday. I remember that holidays are times when one rests and takes some time off. So obviously, that meant I could go into the ship and rest for a little while. In there, I found my future self, this tall, large, red Kochkin, just like me, with metal pieces around his body, just like me. I was surprised. I was so surprised that I just had to ask everything about my future. But I must have been a little grumpy at that day because I never even saw myself open my future mouth. I think future or was it me, was giving me a tour of the ship while carrying me in his arms and showing me in front of other people. There was this nice robot lady that gave me a lollipop, and this other future Kochkin who I think it wasn't me because he was blue, and the future other me, red me, handed me too. But before I could ask more questions, I started hearing some explosions. I wanted to ask future me if leaving the Galbox soda on the ship's motor was okay, but he must have found it. In the end, I was given this nice room, a little small and wooden, but more comfortable than the others I have been taken to. The place must have gotten very busy suddenly, because a lot of bells and screams started going all around me, and before I knew it, I was flying through the sky inside my little room. The thing that I'm proud about the story is that I heard that the group in the ship I visited honored my visit by calling it a rite of passage, whatever that means, and they called it the Kobayashi no.
Nice. We learned about some special techniques and maneuvers here from our friend Nobu. Things that are going to be used for all of the future, I'm sure. So we will move right along from all of that insight into each one of these characters, a little bit about them. You know, the fact that some of them might have gone on to some Sparrow ship in the future and met a whole bunch of clones of other Sparrows we know. And we're going to continue forward. Our first scene of the night, everyone. We fade in on a study. Papers are flying everywhere. There is scribbles on things. There's stuff on a whiteboard. There is angular momentum, trajectory, time and space distortion, whiteboard stuff all over the place. As we see Alice McCree frantically looking over maps, void charts, and all kinds of things, trying to figure out where her daughter might have went to. Off to the side of her, we see Avram Dane, a time mage that's kind of there and kind of not, standing there looking over to her. You are, well, he has an echo in his voice. I gotta put that in there. Here we go. I'm so sorry about your daughter. I apologize. I must have mistaken one future for another. She should have returned to you by this point, yes? How do you respond, Alice?
That's not fair. I didn't get a heads up. I had to be another character.
She didn't get a chance to go get her ascot tie.
I know.
That's right. How could it be? I don't have my hat. I got buns. I was wearing goddamn buns. It wouldn't look good.
He just doesn't want to do the accent, I think is what this is he
It'll
just
get
doesn't.
stuck.
I don't want to do the
I
accent.
just have no idea. What? Let's see. This. How long has it been that she's been looking for her daughter? Is she aware that Avram has like what?
It's about,
What's my motivation, Ty?
So Alice has been looking for her daughter for about the last 6 months. It's been about 1.5 years, and you figured you would have heard something by now and started getting frustrated, started searching for her a little bit. Couldn't get a hold of the Sparrows because things have been busy.
You shut your mouth, you damn time mage. You lost my daughter. You lost my adult daughter.
Well, I wasn't on purpose, of course. Where did I last see her?
That doesn't make it any better.
You told me to protect her. There was an explosion. I protected her. I just... Where did I put her?
Protecting someone generally includes not misplacing them.
Have it. He just vanishes suddenly out of your office. Papers kind of swirl around for a
I
second.
hate it when he does that.
Standing there kind of waiting, wondering if he's coming back or anything. Alice just... You can see like a little bit of a frustrated look on her face. And then a flash of light happens.
Something.
Well, she's missing.
What?
She appears to not be where I put her last. I put her into a time well, something temporary. I intended on traveling back and picking her up and just dropping her off wherever we needed to, or bringing her back to you, of course, something along those lines. But I went there, and the strangest thing, she's not there.
Oh, you placed a person into a random time well and you just willy-nilly went back and you're like, oh my gosh, I am shocked that they are no longer there. Time wells literally are not conforming to time.
Well, I know, but I searched all of time. She's not there. But she is here somewhere.
So she's not in all of time, but she's here somewhere. So she's somewhere out of time? Is that what you're saying? Because you are out of time, I'm about to murder you.
What? I was preoccupied. I am sorry. I'm so sorry. She's in the Aether sphere. She's not in the time well. That's what I meant to say. I have other things to attend to. I'll see you later. He flashes out of existence again. What's the last thing that Alice says?
That son of a bitch. And goes back to doing the thing.
She gets back to scribbling and looking and searching, preparing to make plans to leave. And the scene fades. The next scene starts to open up. We see a well-dressed entourage standing beside a black-veiled woman who is sitting at the head of an opulent table, on which many stacks of paperwork are residing. Behind her is the triangle of white on a red field with a lion in front of it, the crest of House Leon. The woman moves the veil out of her face to reveal a steely gaze and set jaw, a myriad of tattoos running down the length of her neck. Her servant standing nearby states, Lady Leon, you must finalize the documentation. It is yours now. You are the eldest scion. The lady turns. Callan, I know. Please do not speak to me as if I am not aware. I have not been a child for some time. I'm sorry, my lady. I didn't mean to speak out of... The lady holds up her hand. It's fine. Just, I need to do things at my own pace. It's not every day your family passes and you inherit a host of legal issues. Callan's eyes soften. Aurora, I'm sorry, you know. Your father was a great man, and his passing was sudden. He will be missed. And I have total faith that you will be able to control the holdings of your family with great capability. Aurora Lyon's eyes flash. Yes, I am certain I am capable. It is more constricting to myself than I would like to admit. This house requires a lot of cleaning, and I will have to set a few things in motion to resolve some issues we've had for some time now. We see Lady Lion look down at the pen and inkwell before her, the document indicating succession to the Lion family before her, and she looks down, holding the pen in one hand, the inkwell nearby, and her own hand. A large curved blackened tattoo covered in various runes, probably out of place amongst nobility, going up the length of her forearm. She reaches down and with one swift motion pricks her fingertip and signs her name in blood on the page. The scene fades out. The next scene we have is on Silver Shield. We see a lot of squat stone dwarven structures, a massive towering building behind them, the citadel itself. We see a young outer clan dwarf standing in the street, his shoulders heavy and drooping down. He looks and pulls at a uniform he's wearing. It has the insignia of the Peacekeepers on it, a junior Peacekeeper uniform. He stands at the edge of a large, basically like a bus stop. It's a carriage waiting position that is going to be taking him to his next home for several years. In his mind, he hears, "You're nothing but trouble and complication, Chase. Bad tree, bad apple, I always say, and you need the discipline that only the Empire can provide. You're going to join Peacekeeper Boot Camp, and they are going to put you in the right place. You may not like it now, but you will thank me for the experience later." Chase just shakes his head. "Fuck you, gender," Chase says, thinking of his foster father. Shouldering his backpack around to avoid the pressure against his shoulders, and sitting awkwardly on the bench, other cadets nearby talking, laughing, preparing for this great opportunity. Chase spits on the ground. "This is a load of shite." We see in the distance a heavy squat shape, like a metal box on wheels, being pulled by massive draft horses approaching. "All load up!" comes a shout from a Peacekeeper youth officer nearby. The shaved and official-looking dwarf no nonsense in her approach, forcing individuals to get in line and get on board. "Say goodbye to your parents, to your soft life. You won't be returning to it for some time. Let the weakness leave your body. You will need to be strong and confident for the road ahead." While being nearly forcibly pushed aboard the carriage, Chase rolls his eyes and walks on.
You got a
Chase
plus
is my favorite
one.
NPC.
Hey, plus one to me. Sweet.
I'm shocking Link. Sorry if I'm lagging, everybody.
Chase is my favorite NPC. Just 100%.
My boy.
We see Miocenis. The sky is heavy with rain and lightning flashing in the distance. On the winds, we see a squat and ugly airship, more metal and exhaust than sleek, airy vessel, forcing its way through the atmosphere rather than gently gliding. And bearing the Silver Shield Empire sigil, as well as a closed fist on field of blue, one branch, part of the Mithril Order. As the vessel touches down, the Peacekeepers on Miocenis standing in attention, a great horde of them outside of a large port city, snap to attention, standing with salutes and reverence. Heavily armored individuals begin offloading from this airship, raising firearms in a parade of firepower and might, showing how great the Empire is. Ascribing to ancient ritual, the more respected and revered soldiers come out in ascending order. In an effort to provide the most respect to those that come next in line and in authority. At the rear of the line, Commander steps out from the ship, clad in advanced Mithril Order armor. We've seen this individual when I shared their image from the future last time, but I will go ahead and put her back up here again. There she is, and she'll show up here on our stream in just a second.
She looks so warm and friendly.
So very, very...
I think that's the burning stuff behind her, actually. Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
There we are. Yeah, I mean, it's so warm and appealing there.
At least the warm bit.
So this individual steps forward, and you can see fire behind her eyes as she goes to speak with everybody. At ease. I am Commander Steel Sorrow, and I have arrived to deal with the little problem in this region that you peacekeepers seem to find impossible. As you know, our forward outposts have been receiving severe losses of resources and Empire citizens recently. This cannot continue. You are all relieved of military station, demoted to deputies to the Mithril Order soldiers that will be taking over this responsibility until which time that the terrorist organization known as the Vincier has been removed from this mudhole. Are we clear? Chorus of voices at that point shouts out, "Yes, Commander! Yes, Commander!" And they all stand a little bit tighter shouldered. Some of the officers nearby white-lipped and looking either angry or fearful. Good. Then tomorrow we get to work. Who used to be the commanding officers of this base? Meet me in my quarters. We need to discuss your failures and get a debrief on the local situation. And the scene fades out. We move to another scene. Kaizen, a point in your past. You're staring at these skies that are undulating and changing, a myriad of colors, a issue related to the temporal flux. Flash of light in the darkness, and mountains move around you. The Aureus have awoken. Giant beings stand 30, 40 feet tall. They take armies to take down, and there are few left. You stand on a field of bone and desiccation. Your people have fallen again and again and again as these entities have been raising and awakening on Sedna. That aforementioned end of everything, you're there. What do you say, what do you think as you stare at these things?
I'm here again. What am I going to do? How can I stop these things? How can I stop you? What do you want with us?
You find yourself returned again, walking down the road, following all of your allies on Miocenis. The cracks slipped into your mind temporarily, and for some reason your presence, your mental being has vanished and come back. That's the first time that's happened.
What? I don't understand. What is going on?
You see the tower shatter again, in through that little gaping hole in front of you. It just kind of opens and changes. The massive structure you saw in the distance, and you hear your own voice whispering the words, "Find it," as you see it explode in the air again.
Show me the door. I will find it.
The scene fades. Nohu, you're on the back of a hopper. You're on the back of one of those large skeeters, and you are jousting with another one at the moment. Can you provide me an agile roll to stay on back?
Of course.
That is a 9.
Well, every good jouster needs practice, so yeah, I'll take it.
All right, so you go lunging forward. You're carrying that overly heavy sword. What does it look like when you fall off? What causes that to happen?
It's mostly because I didn't sit myself properly. I mean, it's a wild grasshopper, so it's not like he has like a saddle to stick to. So it was one of those when they were about to clash against or hit against each other. head first. The one I was sitting on like stopped before, and I just ended up being launched in front of it to the other one.
And then you just smack into the ground. You see these two things just lock heads and horns and forelegs just smashing into each other. You're like a scrape noise of some chitin off of the side of one, kind of shreds off. Over to the side, Clay is holding Brownie. From your,
This is interesting. Does anyone else taking a look at this?
you see villagers starting to come out in Stuckfoot and like looking at what's going on. You see some of them start moving towards you, trying to potentially stop the violence between all of these supposed farm animals, mounts, whatever. But Clay doesn't seem to be reacting. He's busy currently talking and to a crying young girl. What do you do at this point, Nohu?
Seeing all the congregation of people starting to get together, I think this will be the perfect time to warn everyone. Hey, by the way, there's probably like another attack into the town, like soon-ish, sometime. I don't know, something about a lot of burning and destruction.
You see some other individuals when they're hearing you, the ones that understand you, just like, well, what does he say? Just get the creatures taken care. What? Nohu, what do you? And you see like Melody move over towards you. Of course, Jesus Kixon. She only speaks Skeen, but she just kind of like does her little dance, pats you on the head, and starts pulling you away so you're not within harm's reach of these creatures.
Oh, by the way, if you're going to bet 3 silvers to Bitey. He's the one I was on top of.
You see her just shake her head in frustration. She reaches into her pouch and pulls out a cheesecloth and opens it up. Within is a sandwich, and she hands it to you.
I don't grab it. I just bite it completely. Like,
she like hand back real quick. As you proceed to start munching on that, you feel like maybe she tricked you. Give me a tough roll.
Tough. Oh, the best one, of course.
All right, you got a 12. With a 12, you feel a crunch and then a bitter flavor. This isn't the first time she's tried to put something to calm your nerves into your sandwiches before. So she did it again. You can feel the vestiges of pill going down your throat.
Will they affect me? I mean, not that it really. It's in my mouth already. I mean, what am I going to do? Like throw food up? Of course not. That's simply not logical.
You swallow it, and in a moment or so, suddenly everything just kind of starts to calm down. It's all very happening, but it seems to be far away, and it's not so intense for you at the moment, and you feel like sleeping.
Oh man. Oh, maybe I'll try to drag myself over to the nice plant lady, see if she liked the little friends that I brought to her the last time.
All right, you head over and attempt to talk to plant lady, Periwinkle, and she's sitting there in her garden. And as you walk up to it, everything starts being really kind of bright and colorful to you. Like any kind of light is affecting your eyes greater than usual. So bright, colorful plant life and flowers and things like that seem extra vibrant. And you see her just humming with a whole bunch of these little flowers that are kind of dancing around her now.
Oh, you know what happens even better with that? The light being reflected underneath the water. So I'm going to dunk my head into the lake and see how the light works in there.
And you splash your face down inside of there, and as the light kind of changes a little bit, you get this myriad color like your head's inside of a gemstone. Everything's kind of shiny in all different directions. And after spending probably too long doing that, you see Periwinkle's hands come down and grab your face and pull you out of the water. She kind of looks at you, and she just kind of shakes her head. And she points over to the little flower friends, and you see her just put her hand on her heart. And she reaches down and she gives you this little candied rose petal.
Oh, how nice. I hope you don't burn with the rest of the town. And I'll unfurl my tongue like slow, like a red carpet, grab the candy and roll it back in.
And then she just goes and looks a bit confused and scared, and she looks around. She starts like splashing water on the base of some of her flowers and trees and plants and things like that. And the scene fades out from Nohu from that point. We move back to everybody on the road. You're still an hour or two. They were traveling quite a bit faster than you from Stuckfoot. Kaizen and Patchy walking at the front of the road there with Nova and Kiara just pulling up the rear just slightly. Do any of you have anything to say to each other before you get to Stuckfoot?
My foot hurts. I got shot there.
That's true, you did.
You got shot in your foot?
Does anyone have, like, I guess I have medication for it. I guess I would have medicated it by now. What happens? Voice in the sky. It hurts. Ow!
It has been a few hours of walking. Now you have to have hours of rest for your regen to kick in. But I will say that you've got one application back in this amount of time. So anybody that has damage, that has overload in place, you can reduce it by 1 regen count. So Patchy, yes, he did get shot by Clay in the foot last episode, or episode before last, when you were in the hallway with him. You remember him, Nova. Okay, so Kaizen, what are you doing at the moment?
I am walking alongside Patchy, wondering, what is he going to do with my hair he just took? Patchy, what are you going to do with my hair you just took?
What? Oh, that. Experiments. Oh, so, what kind of a, wait, this is not how I used to sound. This is, right, yeah. What are you looking at? So, you're a different kind of elf. Like, tell me about your people. I want to know more about your people. Don't think about the hair now. Just tell me about your people.
Well, I'm not sure exactly what to tell you. I'm from a very different place, and I am...
You're from a very different place. Start there. What do you mean you don't know where to start?
I'm from a planet known as Sedna. Have you ever heard of it?
Have I heard of it?
Sedna? Give me a brains roll, we'll see. You might have run into it in your previous... Nope. You don't know.
Said who? What you say?
You see, exactly. Well, this seems to be the problem I run in with everybody in this area, about what I am. It is a planet, it's lost in time, and shifts in and out. I don't even know what the coordinates is myself. I've never left it until I was forced away, and now it's lost. So, I'm a lost people, and I am Imni, if that means anything to you, which is a very ancient order of elf. We come from very, very long time ago when the Great Wars were happening in the Division, and we decided not to enslave everything in the Aether Sphere.
Oh, well, how nice of you. So, are you different than other elves? And is it just your politics that are different? Is that all?
Well, I suppose not. We have a bit different way of thinking of things and clearing our minds, but in the end, I believe there are probably some similarities. Quite honestly, I've never really met any other kind of elves.
You've met, like, 2. I met just 2 recently.
So now, because I know 2, I should generalize that to every elf?
No, you just said you never met, you have not met other elves. I'm just saying you've met 2. I'm just...
So, you were a bit distracting, but back to the hair. What exactly are you going to do with it?
I'm gonna understand what makes you you, and then gonna see if I can do things with that. Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to figure out what makes you you, and then figure out what to do with that.
If you discover what to do with what makes me me, would you please keep me in the loop?
I mean, sure.
Thanks. Scratch his head.
I mean, if I find something interesting, I'll let you know. By the way, you said you knew me, or you knew what I was. You said you knew what happened to my people. You also said something about wanted to.
Yes.
You knew what I'm after. What do you know about what I'm after?
Well, not you specifically, I suppose. I'm still getting a temperature on that. But I did see the moment that your kind became your kind. It was quite interesting, really.
Is that what they call it these days? Interesting. Interesting.
It was enlightening.
Yeah,
I
it
suppose.
was.
Rude, also, if it's any consolation.
You said rude?
It was rude. Yeah.
That is a
Genocide, Kaizen. We don't like it.
Oh,
Yes, no.
Oh, so painful. Yes, it was interesting. So what happened to your people? They're lost somewhere where you can't get them?
Oh, yes, they're lost and most likely dead over and over again. I've
How
watched the end
interesting!
as
That's so
many
interesting.
times as I can recall.
Very
Yeah,
interesting.
it's
Very
great
rude of
times.
time to do that. Very interesting.
I tell you, and also interesting. Yes, it is. So
God damn it,
anyway,
you're so
what
offended by
happened-
that, Terrence.
back to the-
Get my point across. It's not
You seem to
interesting.
be-
It's a crime
you seem to
against
be- you seem to be-
everything that's right.
You seem to be emotionally agitated there, Patchy. You got to speak in
I
multiple,
mean,
multiple words.
that's an interesting deal. It's not interesting.
You see,
It
it's
is-
still getting the temperature on you. Thank you for letting me express how I feel and see how you react. It is very unfortunate, though, but if you would ever like to know more of that moment, if you want to relive it, you can come to me. But
If I want to relive it, you just
yes, I am become very accustomed to reliving everything, and I've learned over thousands and thousands of times reliving it that sometimes we can heal things if we
Patchy.
go through it again.
First of all, just want to point out, like relive it. That was like years ago. Skixon don't live that much. What do you mean relive? I'm not reliving anything.
I meant you as a whole, your people, but okay.
So you want our people to relive that? I'm very confused.
No, never mind. Never mind.
I want to understand what you're offering here because I mean, I am very interested in that event too. Just don't find it interesting. Just want to just find that as one of the biggest wrongs that has ever been made, and want to fix that. But what do you mean? What are you trying to offer? I'm just trying to understand this.
Well, I could show you then if you want to learn anything or see who did it or who may be behind
I know
it.
who
Perhaps
did it. Those
you can turn it
damn
around.
Empire dwarves did it.
Okay. Well,
Fine. If you have anything new to show me, fine. What do you need to do? Fine. I'm kind of curious. It's called scientific curiosity.
which is interesting. No, never mind.
Patchy,
No. I want to see what this is. I want to see.
Patchy, I
Do you
want
want to do it on this walk right now?
I want to say
And
one
it.
thing
I mean,
real quick.
yes. I mean, Skixon. Remember, we talked skiing. Yeah. Yes.
So Patchy,
Okay.
one thing I want to bring to your attention. He's indicating that maybe he can show you or bring you to the past. Give me a brains roll just to see if you understand anything about time travel as it pertains to the Aether Sphere in general.
Brains. Okay. Do I still have that wound that's giving me a +1?
You have been fixed. The distraction should be gone now. There you go.
Then that's a 10.
We got
Does
one
that make
right.
anything?
A 10. So, basic knowledge. Alchemists, when going through training, are taught about the nature of the universe and things like that. And when it comes to magic that exists out there, obviously that's a primer. Since it is a real thing that exists in this universe, it is part of education. When it comes to your understanding of time, many time mages can see into the future. Some incredibly powerful ones have been rumored to be able to travel into the future. But the past is the past. Sometimes it can be looked at, it's difficult to do. Traveling there, like physically actually traveling there, not really a possibility, not that you're aware of. So if he's stating that he can travel to the past rather than just view it, you get a little bit of that skepticism.
You mean like so you're saying you're not just gonna like make me see the past with your new elf sudden magic said who said no whatever you're gonna like physically take me there to that moment.
I could definitely try. I have been to the past more times than I can count. But that was Sedna again in a time flux, you see, so we may not be able to do that
You
on a
know
walk.
what? I'm just yeah. How about it? I'm just curious. This guy. Okay, yeah, do it.
Okay.
Okay, so, excuse me, guys, gentlemen, Kaizen, you might want to think about the fact that currently we are living in a place where time is linear, which it's moving forward and then going back. Now, I don't know much about time travel and things like that, but what if you create some sort of like quantum feedback loop that makes it so that like we were never born, or like you can't just go messing with the past is all I'm saying. It might be a bad idea.
Well, heaven forbid, I hope he would mess with it. He would just have to observe if you win.
He
You know
keeps
that, right?
asking people for spit and hair. You don't think he's gonna take stuff?
I will not take stuff if you take me to that moment.
Do we need to bind him?
That's rude. I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm just saying that maybe perhaps precautions should be at least considered.
Well, perhaps we should prepare for this then and not do it on a walk when we're about to get back to your lab.
Oh, yeah, we can't do it here. You need the perfect spot.
Or I could just
Okay,
revoke the
yeah.
invitation altogether.
No, I want to see it. Okay, if you're gonna do it later, fine, do it later. I'm
Okay.
curious.
Perfect.
All right, we continue to see Patchy and Kaizen kind of chatting, Nova nearby. Kiara, what are you doing? What are you thinking about?
Thinking about how coming with this group is a horrible idea and it's going to get me caught, I think is the proper thing. I'm still interested in my inconclusive insight that I had on Kaizen because I want to see the future. I really do. So maybe that wibbly wobbly timey thing we're just going to have to happen to go through.
So you're going to use inconclusive insight again. You're one time per episode.
No, I'm just just thinking about the last one that I had.
Okay.
I'm not using it again.
Fire.
All right.
You're
So
processing.
yeah, processing the idea.
Processing the.
What
Correct.
happens if I can go to the future? What's in the future for me?
What happens if it just like opens? Because I know it apparently opens up around him. So like, what if I just walk through it? Like, what happens? What happens if I just walk through one of these things?
Guess you have
Let me tell you,
inconclusive
getting
insight.
lost in time sucks. Just saying.
Is it better than
second
my?
that,
Is it
actually.
better than our current situation though?
No.
Everybody playing just bypasses the campaign by going into the future. Okay, then we'll just continue from that
jump
point.
the campaign.
I'm
Done.
gonna go back to the future, everybody.
21 gigawatts.
Could be an interesting campaign setting. So we see all of you walking through the fields and the muck and the mire. Nova, is there anything you're thinking about or saying before you get home to Stuckfoot?
No, I think I'm trying mostly to like. One, I'm just really relieved that things are not on fire currently. So Nova's mood has flipped and she's happy again and not in like dark, terrible space. And then she's like pondering Patchy and the logistics of his knowledge of alchemy, given that he is Skixen and some various things like that. She's curious. Things are not quite adding up.
You have been watching him consistently, and he definitely was trained in alchemy, related to what you saw coming from your mother, of course.
You
and
mean
even
from the Arcane University?
From the Arcane the university.
where they
that you
train
see.
all the alchemists.
Yep.
Where I lived.
Give
and
me
grew up.
an aware roll to see if you can determine anything about his method. That you
That is not my strong suit.
7.
I got a 7.
Not at the moment. I mean, I will let you try again later. The more times you see Patchy actually use any of his skills or the way that he does his mixing, if you want to learn anything more about him.
And it literally goes like this. Patchy and the weird squirrel.
Oh, look, it's Floofles. Oh, Floofles. He died
Are
100 years
Floofles
ago.
on Miocenis?
No, they're not. So, I mean, they might be brought as pets or
Oh.
something, but they're not naturally occurring here. All right, so we see all of you continue traveling.
It
We
is
move,
so quick.
we move back over to Stuckfoot. Clay, you're there with Brownie right now, and in front of you, you've got the two skeeters locking horns basically and starting to tear at each other. Like one of them tears through part of the side of one's face, and they start like attempting to kill each other, it seems like, and the town starts running in your direction. What are you doing right now?
Well, because last episode I, grabbed her and like, thank goodness you're safe, Chase, and then explained that we had to go, and she started crying, if I remember rightly.
You just called her Chase.
Yep, I did. Correct. That was in character.
Yep.
Okay.
That's not weird or transferring some sort of trauma on the creature.
No, it's normal in every way, shape, and form.
Yeah, so I think honestly, right now, Clay's running on instinct pretty much, and so his first instinct is to reassure Child. So he'll kind of come down like, I know it's not fair and it's not fine, but this Aether sphere it's got a lot of beauty, it's got a lot of good things in it, but there's some bad, right? So it's our job. We have to make sure that we're doing what's going to make the most good for us, all right?
So tell us just to look out for ourselves then, and just let everybody else hear?
No, don't worry. We're going to leave. I don't know exactly what we're going to do, but we're going to get these fine folk out too. They don't deserve what's coming either.
How do you even know what's going to happen? It's like the future?
I don't know. Some elf that's not like any other elf I've seen said that they went into the future.
And you just believed him?
Well, so future stuff is possible. I mean, there's like wobbly magic-y people, but I don't know a lick of that. But they're really weird, and it seems more likely that they're telling the truth, that they're trying to trick me.
Well, do they have anything to gain? I mean, there's lots of individuals out there who have used all kinds of different tricks to do things for themselves. My family told me to be careful of people, because they oftentimes are just trying to get something, or, take you or do stuff.
Sure. You're a real smart cookie, you know that, Brownie.
I'm... and cookie brownie.
Yes, I know.
Well, I still don't like it. I like this place. Can we just change the future?
Well, the future is the Empire coming along and having a lot of problems with this town.
But why did they come here?
As much as... Well, remember, there was a little scuffle. We had a
tell
little
them it was an accident, or there were bugs. And you tell them it was the bugs.
Sure.
I mean, if they gotta listen, right? I mean, you don't want to just hurt people for no reason.
Brownie, I would love to double time and talk my way out of this. Sometimes you just can't talk your way out of certain things.
What are the people here gonna do if they leave? I lived here for, I don't know, a lot of time. And there's not a lot of places that you can go that aren't already scary. Look, it's not even muddy up here. Well, I mean, it's a little muddy because of the rain, but...
All right. You know what? I think you've got a great point. Here's the plan. All right? We're going to get these folk to a safe place, and we're going to do everything we can to de-escalate.
As you say the words de-escalate, there's a screeching noise punctuated by a piece of chitin that just right past you. You see Six Toes and his father like trying to wrangle these things, and Melody off to the side just pulling the skeeters off of each other. And you see Melody turn towards you. She's been speaking Skeen to you for a while, but so much of it is visual, and you're not looking at her. And she's like, you look over for a second,
like
you're
a bunch of clicks
help me!
Oh, okay. We'll finish this plan in session just a second. Oh, jeez. All right. I'm gonna go over and try and please, my fine friends, like to both of them. I know you're both very big and strong, and you both want to prove that.
Give me an agile roll right now as a claw just kind of swings over in your direction accidentally.
Oh, of course.
Oof. That is a 16
oh, wait,
to
it
a
should
10.
be an 11 because I don't have. I also got to regen. Yes.
You can't get rid of wounds unless you have some sort of medical assistance to do it. Did anyone actually?
Oh, never mind. Then 10.
Yeah, you're still in pain. So, yeah,
Cool.
you
Makes
get
sense.
bopped by a flailing limb,
Great.
taking 3 points of damage to your right arm.
Ooh, all right.
You kind of shudder, step to the
Please.
side a little bit.
Kind of like stretch a little. As I was saying, both of you, step back. We don't need to come to blows. You're both equally. I'm just please.
I'm just seeing how far you
Really?
go with it. No, let's give me a charming roll, and we'll see if you can convince these two
Yeah.
wild animals to chill out.
I
bet
do
you're-
get
feel
plus
like you're
2.
Pretty.
You do. 26. Nice. So your
26,
calm
please,
voice, the consistent tone that you have there, everybody else kind of pulling on the skeeters, and they back up
Plus
a little
one to
bit.
Rob from last coffee bean.
Thank you, LCB.
Thanks.
So you're able to get them pulled apart, and you see them just kind of moving back. And the first one you rode in on, the actual hopper, moves to the side and goes like around the edge of the buildings, pulled over in that direction by a few of the sticks nearby, and it just begins like nibbling at the damaged parts of itself, trying to clean the edges and whatnot. The other one, the wild one that you brought in there, backs up a few steps, and you see it tense its legs really, really strong, and then it turns, and unless you stop it, is going to jump right over the wall.
Nope.
All
Go
right,
right
and it
ahead.
just bounds right
I mean, I
back
did-
off into the wilds.
When I was talking to it, I told it I just needed the one-way trip anyway. So
And that one is gone now. As you're standing there and all this kind of mess up happens and whatnot, you see your other party members walking up from down below. You also hear a burbling noise from Nohu behind you as he has his head pulled out of the water that he was currently drowning in by Periwinkle.
great. No time to unpack that.
Great.
I'm gonna kind of address the crowd, hoping to time it so that the party can kind of hear what's going on as I do in skiing, because I know that's probably what most people in the town talk. All right, folks. Bit of bad news. So one of our little party here saw potentially a future where this town gets a bit roughed up because of what happened the other day. So I think what the best plan is there any like safe place for hiding out, like a big storm or something outside of town?
The first one to step forward is Melody, and in Skixon, she's like, someplace to hide. Or you want us to leave our homes? Dear, you haven't been here long enough to ask us to do that. Look, those individuals, those officers and those peacekeepers that died, that was the bugs, other than the ones that were killed by that fellow, that outsider. Like, we don't want any trouble. We don't. If they
Right.
come in here, we're gonna have to point them their way. And we're gonna give them the truth. And that should resolve things, because we've got nothing. There's nothing here the Empire wants.
Right. I just my policy is erring on the side of caution, because I think most folk are going to be thinking on that same level. But with the Empire, there's let's just call them zealots, because I don't know how many swear words my little friend here knows and all the other youngins know. And those folk probably won't be satisfied with the truth.
Eckhart, the Hume that operates the trade stand out front, is like standing off to the side, and he steps forward a few steps. Look, I don't know what you think you're doing around here. Everybody here's been really comfortable for a long time. And you show up out of the blue in the night, and all of your strange friends come in. There are many eyewitnesses here to indicate that what had happened was an attack. An attack by Mantis. The only thing we have to explain is the soldier that was shot in the head with that arrow. And that right there, there's only one person who's guilty of that, and there's that strange dark-skinned elf fella. And elves on top of that. We're gonna have to turn him in.
All right.
We have to look out for us and ours. And you see the other ones all just kind of nod, and they turn back towards you like, who is this outsider? And there's a gnome nearby. She carries a bunch of little musical instruments she's always kind of working on, standing nearby. And she looks over you. Yeah, I've seen your type around here as well. You, sir, are someone who's used to dealing with the bad side of the law, and you got to learn to trust a little bit. Okay? They're good individuals, sometimes with some difficult policy and bad intention. But they're here trying to help us. They're cleaning out some of these bugs and cleaning out some of the swamps. And, you know...
But what were they here for originally? What were they doing in town?
In town here, they were looking for someone. And you see Six Toes step forward and he goes, they were looking for me. They were looking for me. I joined a bad crew of individuals that called themselves Vincier. I mean, it turned out they were not that. I mean, that's a terrorist organization. I would never terrorize anything, but I did deface some of their property, and they came to apprehend me.
Right.
I should turn myself in, and this will all be taken care of.
So, and I need you to think about the implications of what that would mean.
The implications, I did not grow up in this town in order to destroy it. I didn't want to have to send us out into the wilds. The things out there will kill us. They hunt Skixen all the time. You saw them climb over the walls. We put those up so they'd stay out, and they didn't even stay out of those, and that's not even a dangerous thing. I mean, it's dangerous, but you know what I mean. Look.
Of course.
I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta stop this. I got people coming here trying to... Patchy had friends, nephews that came in and said they could help us. And, I didn't know what to do, so I asked them if they would. So, they said they're gonna get our names cleared. My name cleared. They're gonna take care of the problems with the soldiers. And everything will be fine.
Were you specific on the how?
Well, I mean... Why would I need to do that?
You said this was a terrorist organization?
Well, that was the Vincier group that I was with. Patchy's not involved with terrorists.
But who are these folk?
They said they were his nephews, Patchy's nephews. They said they happen to belong to an organization that can help us. They take care of Skixen and halfling relations.
So, what kind of Skixen-run, Skixen-helping organization that's nearby the area do you think they might have been a part of?
I don't know. There's plenty of organizations to help.
How many?
Ever since the Great War.
I have to admit, I might be shooting at nothing because I don't know this planet that well. And you're right, I'm an outsider, but I know how quickly comfort can be taken away by these folk. And you can't underestimate how much they can do and how much they will do for a little bit. A little bit of what they see as justice.
I mean, justice, isn't that a universal statement?
No.
You see, like, Six Toes' father come over a little bit, the Bentier, then taking care of Bo off in the distance. What's going on over here? I hear there's some problems, and there's some sort of fighting, and then...
Foghorn Leghorn?
And there's gonna be some, like...
I say!
I said.
Seems like maybe some fire and some brimstone. You said there's death and destruction, and why are you rattling up all the folks? Dad, I I haven't been entirely honest with you. I joined these Vincier groups, and then I defaced some public property, and they told me I had to do it to get into the group, and I wanted to make a difference. And you see his father just walk over to him and look at him real quick. Why the hell would you do something like that? And smack him upside the head. Patchy, Kaizen, Nova,
Patchy,
and Kiara,
I didn't know you were such a family man.
As you see Bentir smack his son upside the head, everybody's kind of gathered around. There's chitin and like hopper blood all over the ground.
He said that the party was walking up.
You have now walked.
Oh, wait, what?
You've now started coming up the hill. Nohu.
What do you mean, family man? I don't have family. What are you talking about?
Nohu, the thing that you ate from Periwinkle has granted you back all of your health at the moment, if you're missing anything, and reduced your overload to 0.
Wait,
nice.
ow! My cousin came.
6 years looks over and goes, "Oh, they said they were your nephews. Not? Did you say cousin?"
Wait, wait, just they.
Yeah, it was Stripe and Gray Eye.
Stripe and Gray Eye.
Yeah, one kicks in.
Can you describe what they looked like?
One of them had like a little bit of a large kind of bulgy eye. It looks like he got hit there or something, and it was just kind of like miscolored. And the other one had like all this red hair and a stripe that went all the way down his back.
Red.
Yeah.
Red, like kind of like a mohawk thing, like it is.
Yeah. I like the color of her cape.
Okay.
He said
Where
that.
are they right now?
Well, the red-haired one, Stripe, said that that he wanted to give you a message, that he misses hanging out, and that your grandfather, he's not feeling so well lately, and has a reckoning coming, something along those lines.
Oh, so no, Grandpa.
He also said he's glad that you're not feeling.
Have reckonings.
He said something about how he's glad you're not feeling so under the weather or something, whatever that means.
Hey, Ty, can I use inconclusive insight in this very specific moment?
Certainly. Your inconclusive insight tells you at this point that Patchy is aware exactly of who these individuals are, that he's incredibly nervous about something, and that he hasn't been honest with everybody about who he is. That's as much as you get.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
I mean, this may seem like
okay.
very obvious things to the viewers,
messages?
but inconclusive insight allows your character to know meta information that way.
So, my grandpa is sick. Very happy that I am healthy. Anything else?
He said that he was going to help us out. I told him we were having some problems because some of the Empire soldiers that died. And you told me to talk to him about the Vincier and, what happened with that and all that. And I did. And they said, it sounds like we are in a bit of a bind and that we could be in a lot of trouble with the Empire and that he has a solution for that. And then they're going to be bringing that solution here later.
Later.
Well, he didn't give me a time frame. No.
Okay.
He said he needed to send a letter first.
6 goes. My dear assistant. Good job.
You're gonna just look over at Kiara and be like,
very good at listening to the direction. Where are they now?
Well, they left about an hour ago, almost.
All right, so plans are changing. I think Hekanahan Baskin is coming to this town, or so if I think most of us stick around. So, Patchy, I think it's about time.
I have left. I have immediately rushed to my lab.
I hope you're running off. At that point, someone comes running over from the tower nearby. There's a tower that's attached to Patchy's house. It's where, it's the watch, basically. There's a small shortwave radio up there. Individuals sit and they stare out over the swamps, try to find anything that might happen. It's not always filled, but this time it seems to have been. Skixon, very wide face, big hands, almost shovel-like claws, comes like rushing down and runs over towards the big crowd and goes over towards Ventir and kind of whispers something in his ear. Give me an aware roll to see if you hear it. It's anybody that wants to try to hear it.
Oh, okay.
I want to be nosy. Let me be
Me
nosy.
too, but I'm real bad at it.
Nova got a 2. Kaizen got a 6.
So is Kaizen.
Kiara
So
got a
am I.
7.
And Kia.
Clay.
I'm still, dealing
idea.
with the inconclusive insight that happened.
Know who gets a 10.
I know who. We all had the very good intention of being nosy, yet we all failed.
No, we're still dealing with the inhaled water that happened.
Know who's sleepwalking right now, away from
Just-
the...
Oh no, baby.
Clay, what was your roll?
Ty,
Probably get into less trouble that way, honestly.
Yes, Clay.
I have a very bad idea that I think I'm gonna try.
Oh, no. Okay.
I want to go back and grab the uniform of the radio operator that I shot.
Oh, okay. Back down the street, you mean? Okay. So,
Because they were a dwarf, right?
They were. So you're gonna grab you're gonna grab Hopper and just go off in that direction?
How far away is it?
It's about an hour by foot, or like 15 minutes by Hopper.
Well, I'll let them I'll let this, because there seems to be something going on. Let's see where that goes first.
All right. So what is your?
Should we go intercept the people with the letter? Because there was this one time my mom kept trying to send a letter to this one person, but it kept getting interrupted all the time. And because it kept getting interrupted all the time, the information never made it to its destination. So maybe we should do something like that.
Well, that sounds awful.
I know, it had to be super frustrating. It was just like
It's
over
frustration,
and
right?
over and over. It was
Well,
horrible.
you'd think that somebody would figure out that the mail was being intercepted at some point, right?
I don't know how that works.
Well,
Lots of inside,
well.
Okay, fine.
inside jokes here.
What? We don't want to intercept the letter? You don't like the idea?
Anyway, let's move on with this game rather
I'm
than.
not not.
Yeah, so what's the watchtower person saying?
You got to roll your aware to see if you overheard it. He is whispering. Some of you might be able to get some information
Hopefully
based on a
you
roll,
do,
but
'cause
everybody
we
else did really badly.
Gone.
12.
Good job. Look at that.
12. It is in Skeen. There are some aspects of it that are potentially visible. You hear something along the lines of radio intercepted message, something along the lines of terrorist cell. That's all you hear.
Grenade cell, a D cell, AAA cell, never a
Right.
terrorist cell.
I'm gonna rush up to that scheme. I'm so sorry for eavesdropping. Do you have an ETA?
I have an ETA.
Hey,
I mean, when it comes to the message, they were just saying that there was some sort of intercepted some information. They were given details that there is a Vincier cell here for some reason.
right? Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I left before I heard anything else, but it takes a while for them to respond. If we go back up to the tower, maybe we can hear something.
Hey, let's do that now.
All right, then.
Kiara, I need your eyes.
Who are you, by the way?
Oh, Clay, nice to meet you.
No, I mean, like, why are you
Kara had
here?
like started following Patchy, and then like backed up as soon as you're like, I need your eyes. I'm like,
Hey, Kiara. Is this guy okay to be in the tower? All right. Yeah, all right.
I promise. I'm just trying to help.
All right.
However
So
I can.
the individual who now introduces themselves as Barry's things brings you to the tower, and you see the little door open up. You start heading up it. So, Nohu, you said you were sleeping?
No, you said that I was sleeping.
No,
From the top.
I said you were sleepy. The flower actually got rid of that for you, as well as the other things that it did. It would have been nice to hold on to the magic item until later, but you ate it right away, so you gained the benefits right away.
No
Correct.
problem. Oh,
So Periwinkle
everything will come all right.
Periwinkle removed your sleepiness, your drowsiness, and the drugged state that you were in, as well as giving you regen with that flower petal, and then just kind of waved at you. Everybody else around starts like rushing back and forth. Everybody's in the middle of town. Freaking out is starting to happen. You see Patchy just go bolting into his building. Where do you head? What do you attempt to do?
Oh, thank you, nice plant lady. Hey, since you're a plant and all, can you like sense if anything is like coming to us? To avoid the fire and death and all of that.
She shakes her head and just like shrugs her shoulders.
Oh, maybe one of the little friends, the little flowers. They're small. They can probably like scout outside the town and come back and tell you if they see anything approaching.
You see them like kind of bouncing up and down and waving their little viney arms. And she turns to him and like scratches her head and looks over at you. She pats you on top of your head and gives you a smile, and then kind of leans over and whispers in the plant's ears, or whatever you want to call it. And you see them all just kind of scatter.
See, yeah, sweet. If worst comes to worst, don't worry. I will help the town. I am kind of starting to branch into hearing besides adventuring, so, the time will be safe. But if things start to burn a little too hot for you, there is that one hole on the back of the town near the barricade. Not a lot of people know about it. It's pretty hush-hush, so, I like you. You're cool. And, if you find anything, let me know. I'm going to go with Patchy and see if he wants to do anything.
She raises her hand and comes over towards you. She straightens your collar up a little bit in front of you and kisses you on top of your head, and then reaches over and grabs a leaf that she has turned into like one of those little folded boat hats and puts it on your head.
Now I'm Sir Captain No.
And she just like salutes you.
Take my hat.
Ma'am.
Cheerio, or whatever. Coming through.
And Nobu heads back out towards the crew. Nova and Kaizen, you're currently sitting there. Patchy's ran off. Clay and Kiara have headed towards the tower. The villagers have like started cleaning up chitin and broken bits. There's still like brown stains from blood that they're like scraping up from the other day when you had all the fights happen. Big charred area that from the explosion that went off near Patchy's house. The building itself, the whole one side of it has been like boarded up at this point. Probably not sealed incredibly well, but it looks better. What are the two of you doing?
What time is it currently?
Right now, it's about 9 o'clock at night.
Is it past the time that I saw the airships attacking this place?
It would have been about the same time as this. You think it's a different day?
Okay. Well, I think that we are safe for this evening at least. We are about the same time as the raid happened, but I fear that it may be tomorrow, but if not, very soon. I don't know what to do for these people.
Okay, one thing I'm noticing right now is that since I have come into town, it is not a better place. And we should fix this. 2, why don't you use your crack meditation or whatever you call it to think about things from the day that the stuff happened, right? Like, what color were the trees or the mushrooms, or was there something there that you remember seeing that isn't there now, or like a spinning top that's about to fall over, or something like that, something that gives you sort of an idea of what we could like look at instead of maybe just some nebulous time everyone's gonna die. It's a little stressful not knowing, Kaizen.
Well, now you know my life. That is how it works. There was a lot of destruction. It was very hard to tell what time of day it was. I can definitely try to focus on that again, but it doesn't really work like that. But I can try. Let's try.
I mean, you don't even have to use magic. What I'm saying is like, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and see if you can like pull back the exact image. I know I don't have the calm, relaxing voice that you have, and I'm trying though, okay? Just calm down!
Because Nova's freaking out a little.
Okay.
Okay,
Woo!
Kaizen.
Also, we should go after Patchy. Can you do it at the same time?
I've been trying this whole walk home. What do you think I am? All right, how about you go check on Patchy? I'm going to take a moment and focus, and we'll rejoin in 5 minutes. Plan?
Get a piece of paper and a pencil, write down all the things that you remember seeing, okay? And then she's like, runs away.
What is a piece of paper and a pencil, Kaizen?
No idea. So I sit down and start to meditate.
All right, so you sit down to meditate.
I'm sorry, I assumed he would know. I'm culturally insensitive, okay?
Wait, so do they do like cuneiform? Like,
Yes,
are you
they
writing
do.
on tablets?
They do. The Imni are
like
an ancient
hammer
race.
and chisel, like.
Not necessarily. I
I'll
mean,
make
they
a
have,
mental note.
Yeah, but you don't often end up writing things when writing doesn't really work for you because you can't have the time to read it because in one moment you're in a different place, and the next moment you're in another
The page
place.
is blank, and then it's half, and then it's...
Yeah. So they had to have more solid things that would last a great deal of time and be large and easy to recognize. It's a different form of language for writing. Yes, so Kaizen's going to sit down and meditate to try to determine what details he can remember about that night, while Nova runs after Patchy. So Patchy, we move over to you real quick. You barrel into your room, and Felicia rolls off of your head, and then you see her just kind of plod over to her bed and just poof, down inside of it.
We're getting away from you, Felicia. Grab whatever you can, all the important stuff.
And I'm just going through all the cupboards and just trying to get any essential item I have and trying to pack it up as fast as I can.
You start grabbing things. Felicia like rolls over, just goes meow, and just starts sleeping with her belly up.
Good kitty, just sleep. Good kitty, just sleep. Stay out of the way. Good kitty.
You dig through everything there, and you find a piece of paper that wasn't there before, that is in familiar handwriting. It is sealed with a wax
I
stamp
check for
of
trap.
a slashed claw across the wax, indicating in Vincier tongue that you have been marked for death.
You got the black spot!
I check for traps
Give me an aware roll.
on it.
I'm so proud of you checking this weird letter.
21. Patchy, you look at it, and you do notice that there is a chemical compound, a topical poison, on the outside of this container in a spot right around where you would open the wax seal.
I avoid it while saying,
Amateur, I taught you this, you little bastard! Little snot-nosed little...
And that's the energy that Nova comes in on.
Yeah, you step in as Patchy's screaming.
Think you can trick me, huh?
Are you yelling at a letter?
yes. I'm, vocal exercises. Since I'm an old skixen, I need to make just vocal exercises to keep myself youthful.
The paper
I
in
taught
his
you that, you
hand.
bastard. I used to do theater back in the university.
Nova,
You old
paper-
bastard.
the paper in his hand as he's standing there kind of waving it about holding it, you see smoke, like a green smoke, begin drifting up off of it while he's busy talking to you.
Patchy, it's on fire, but weird.
It's just poison. I open the window and I try to fan
Shunt it
out
out.
the toxic material outwards,
As
knowing that I'm
you-
hoping that it will dissipate.
As you start trying to
so-
throw that out, you look briefly at the page, and it goes, "Good job getting past the first trap. This is a new one for you. Thanks for the lessons."
You think you're too smart, don't you?
The hair
You
on
think
your
you're
arm that
too
goes
smart.
into the cloud begins fluffing off your arm. You see telltale signals that this compound in front of you mixed has trails resembling the bomb that they used against the dwarves, but it's been altered and seems to be affecting you.
Wait. Wait, do I have a way to counteract this? It's my technology.
Roll tough first.
You have a way of counteracting it. You should start by dropping it. Drop it.
So
Get
first,
it out of your
roll
hands!
tough.
What do you have? Drop it.
We're gonna have you roll tough to determine. Oh no, he froze. It got him. It got him. The toxin got him.
That's a great look. Whoa!
Did I freeze? What happened? I did not freeze.
Everybody's frozen in my screen now too. Hold on. All right.
Everybody else looks fine, and Sanan's back now.
He is. But from my side, we are
He
going
froze on
to...
a really ugly face I was making. Can we fix that?
Wait a minute.
Oh no!
Everybody's kind of... 1 second, everyone.
Get that on. Stop it.
Nope. Still we'll have to fix it here in a second. So this is the perfect time, while we have the fate of Patchy in a position where we don't understand, that we will go to break, and we'll be back in 10 minutes, everybody.
Steven is...
So...
I mean, it is exactly 7:30.
Yeah, he's moving fine. I know what's wrong with it. I can fix it.
Planned.
It'll take me a second. So thank you again for watching, everyone.
Always, Kaizen.
We'll see you in just a minute.
Is this what you feel? Everybody frozen.